Hey there, everybody. How's it going? This is John Matthew, and you're watching CineMania 24/7, a channel dedicated to movies, music, physical media, books, video games, and pop culture. Yes, it's no surprise that ever since the release of the first Toy Story movie, the Toy Story franchise has become one of the most lucrative and successful franchises of all time. It has grossed over $3 to $4 billion at the box office and has also been very popular among all Disney files and cinephiles in general. When the first Toy Story came back in 1995, little did I know that they would also make a sequel to this movie. A sequel that would surpass the original in many ways and turn out to be one of the finest sequels that Hollywood has ever made, considering the bad track of records, or let's say the bad reputation, the rapo, that sequels have made over the years, with worse and worse sequels coming out almost every year that ruin the entire essence of the original film. Today we're going to talk about the idea that why Toy Story 2 has one of the best sequels ever and has some secrets to it that most fans today do not know. Without any further delay, guys, let's begin. Toy Story 2 is a brilliant movie, right from the start. You see this shot here where Buzz Lightyear is apparently in this video game and he is trying to battle out Zurg. And then the very next minute, we find out that it is actually a video game, and it is Rex who's playing with the video game. We get to see how Woody is basically preparing for cowboy camp. And since this is the most exciting time of the year for him, he's pretty busy and very nervous as well. Andy happens to play with his toys, and accidentally he rips off Woody's arm. That makes him leave Woody back at home, of course. And then, of course, you have this part where we find Wheezy, where Wheezy the toy penguin reveals that he has been put on shelf for months now, and Andy and his mom have no clue that they even exist or what. The Star Wars angle here, of course, in the film, I'll come back to it. It is one of the most interesting things in the entire film, to be very specific. It has one of the most coolest Star Wars references ever, something that I'll come back in a few minutes. Toy Story 2 has a basic plot of how Al McGuigan, a basic toy collector, or let's say an advanced level toy collector, who gets hold of Woody in a yard sale where he wasn't meant to be, and how he abducts him, and after abducting, how Buzz Lightyear and the entire gang goes right behind Al to protect their friend and bring him back before Andy comes back from cowboy camp. That is the entire plot of the film. The movie opens up with this video games footage, as stated earlier. It looks completely like Star Wars. A lot of parts are very similar to Star Wars, and even there's a reference to a particular Star Wars film as well that I'll come back to in a little while. The animation here, the aesthetics that they've used, the color schemes, the entire ideas of Buzz and Zurg being arch rivals is very similar to Star Wars and many of the science fiction films, but it is still organic and very cool to watch. Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear and Wayne Knight as Zurg are one of the finest voice performances ever. I guess there could have been a particular movie on this particular video game as well. There should have been a movie, even a short movie or even a TV movie would do. But unfortunately, we never get it though. That's sad enough. But anyway, this particular montage is one of the best montages in the entire film. It gives you pretty much idea about what the video game actually was and what kind of animation we're going to see in the entire film. What can we expect exactly? The animation in the film, of course, is top notch, but by today's standards, that is almost 2 decades have passed since the events of this movie. So, yeah, the animation is pretty dated now, but yet it looks fine and it is still enjoyable. So, very enjoyable to watch on screen. I first saw this movie at least 12 years back on Disney Channel, and I had no idea that this film even existed. I remember watching the first Toy Story film back in 2008 or 9, of course, and I even remember buying the storybook to that film. And I currently happen to own, just a second, guys. Yeah, I currently even happen to own the DVD of the film, and I'm soon planning to buy a VHS copy. I hope I find a VHS copy too. At any rate, here I also have another DVD, that is the Toy Story 2 DVD. Of course, it's a very cool one. It has a lot of special features, and I'll come back to it in a little while. Anyway, so Toy Story 2 has brilliant animation, nice usage of color schemes, some great casting characters, and also Buster the dog, who was apparently just heard in the first Toy Story movie. You can hear his voice in the final scenes of the film. He's now grown up to be a puppy, and he likes Woody a lot. There are games where he basically plays dead and how they Just chill out is really cool. The yard sale scene in the film is an integral part because this is the scene where everything in the movie basically sets up, and how the characters act according to the movie's context is all because of this scene. This scene is the main reason why the characters are acting the way they are acting. Woody gets abducted here, Wheezy is saved, and of course, Wheezy being saved here gives him a very strange kind of affiliation, an affiliation that will lead to a very popular Pixar theory, a theory that still blows my mind off, even till this date. The theories around this movie are magnanimous. There are many fan theories about this film, many. Toy Story 2, apart from just having Star Wars references and great animation and also a lot of fan theories as well, this film has one of the best voice casts of all time. I mean, hands down, I can say Wayne Knight was really great as Al McQuiggan. And as usual, Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and even Joan Cusack as Jesse, and even Kelsey Grammer as Prospector was absolutely phenomenal. Though a special mention goes here for Joe Ranft, who played Wheezy. Of course, he doesn't have much lines in the film and he's not really seen for most of the time in the movie, but he still is one of the finest voice actors in the entire movie. Of course, he met his unfortunate demise in 2006, and this movie can be posthumously remembered as one of his finest voice works. Here, a special mention for voicing would, of course, in my opinion, uh, it would go to. Any guesses, guys? You have no guesses? Yeah, I understand. Some of the best voices in the film are, of course, by Kelsey Grammer, and no doubt also by Wayne Knight. They are some of the best voice performers in the entire film, and they have done phenomenal jobs. Jobs that are still commendable even up until this date. Oops, it's raining outside. I'm sorry. Toy Story 2, apart from just having a great voice cast, also has a very key element, something that I would like to describe as the philosophical lessons. The first lesson being that a toy never forgets its owner. You see, Jessie's character here, Joanne Cusack's character, deserves a lot of mention. She's one of the best characters in the entire film, very well written, very well executed, and she happens to be a protagonist in the later movies as well. I really like her character design, looks absolutely brilliant when kept in contrast with Woody. Their costume schemes and their hat schemes match a real lot, and they look well, very well on screen. I can just describe how much. The entire angle with Rex trying to defeat Zurg in the film is another small subplot that reaches its conclusion only towards the end. But then there's no such meaning to it because it's just there because they want a side character to have a subplot here. Wheezy's character, we all know, he is considered to be in a fan theory, of course. I'll tell you what the fan theory is. But let me come back. Jesse's character arc or Jesse's entire story arc is very reminiscent of one thing, that a toy basically never forgets its owner. You see that particular song montage called When She Loved Me? That is one of the most emotional Disney songs ever. Back when I was a kid, I used to feel this is just a song where Jessie is explaining her separation from her owner. But the truth is, it turned out to be one of the finest and the most emotional moments in a Disney film. And it gave me something which I call nostalgia. Anybody who watches that song today, they are always bound to say one thing, that they are very sorry for all the toys and all the belongings that they happen to donate. Toy Story 2 also has another key lesson. It teaches you that no matter how old your owner is, no matter how big your owner grows, no matter how forgetful your owner becomes of you, eventually, a toy's main job is to basically entertain its owner, to keep its owner happy. The entire essence of Toy Story 2 being around a toy's journey to entertain its owner, to make his owner happy, is one of the key lessons that this film gives out. In contrast to Prospector's point of view, Prospector basically was a toy that never got sold. He was sitting on a shelf, a dime store shelf, all his life, and he saw every other toy getting sold. But unfortunately, he remained, and that's the reason why he's still in the box. But that's just a farce. He actually comes out and does things that nobody even can imagine. The movie is not free of plot holes, of course, but plot holes are something that we can discover in the review. Right now, we're just talking about Toy Story 2 in general. This film even got deleted two times, once by accident and second time on purpose. And the most shocking fact is that this was basically a direct to VHS or DVD movie initially. They planned to release it on VHS and DVD, but thank God they didn't do it because this masterpiece would have been seriously underrated if it went that route. But anyway, I'm very happy it came out in the theaters and played real well. And this is one of my most favorite Disney movies. Of course, if I rank the movies, I cannot tell you right now because spoilers ahead. That's a new video. I will tell you eventually in the foreseeable future. Toy Story 2 has many great themes. It has the themes of loyalty, it has the themes of impressing your owner, the idea that you can let go and give yourself a new chance, let go of your past and give yourselves a better chance, be with better people, choose what you can be. It has many moral lessons and moral teachings that most modern day movies actually don't have. The entire idea that being together is most important other than anything else in the world is one of the key takeouts of this movie. Toy Story 2 is a brilliant film. Of course, the animation is dated, parts of the film have really, of course, aged a lot. The background characters don't get much kind of mention as they got in the entire previous movie. And this is the film where we last see the background characters like RC, Lenny, Bo Beep, and even the Troikas, Rocky Gibraltar, and many other characters that will eventually appear only in the, let's say, the video footage in the beginning of Toy Story 3. Because rest of these characters are all donated, and this is the last film where you can actually see them. The character arcs of the movie are brilliantly sketched. I can understand Woody, right from being very loyal to his owner, actually defects towards Jesse and Prospector's cause. But when Buzz comes in and reminds him that basically he's Andy's toy, that is where he makes a new decision and decides to get back with them. That's one of the finest character arcs I've seen in an animated movie, something that modern day movies are really falling short of. And even Buzz's character, which remains very, very uniform throughout the film, of course, has not got much scope, but is still impressive to watch. Rex's character and Ham's character, they are kind of the same throughout the entire movie. It's just that Rex has a few side notes here and there on how to defeat Zurg in that particular game that they're playing in the beginning of the film. Of course, the movie does not give him much scope, but yet they look very, very fabulous together. Potato Head's character is, of course, very, very apprehensive of Woody anyway, but he still supports him and still wants the better out of him. Of course, that's great enough. Toy Story 2 is a brilliant movie and it is still watchable even after all these years of release. I still feel this is a great movie and is watchable again and again as long as you love it a lot. Tell me down below in the comment section of what do you feel about this movie and what are the memories that you have associated with this film. I'd be really glad to know. Meanwhile, let's get back to the DVD of this film. This is the DVD of the movie. I own it on regions 2, 4, and 5. This is a really great film, brilliant picture quality, looks cool, has great special features. It has the audio documentaries, it has Buzz Lightyear mission logs, apparently, parts to Pixar, technical artists, a lot of things going for it. Anyway, I'll come back to the review soon and then sometime. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Bye bye.